Welcome to the Baseball Together podcast with your hosts, Blackjack Brad and Briggy Blue Eyes. And now, Baseball Together. Baseball family, welcome back to this week's episode of the Baseball Together podcast. I'm Brig. I got Brad with me. I'm on the road. Brad's at home. We're playing a different set of ball today. How are you, Brad?
I'm good. How's the little vacay?
It's good. It's really good, actually. I didn't really have any expectations going in, but I'm pretty pleased with the way it's turned out.
Good. Going to play some golf later today?
Yeah, first time. Well, okay, second time ever. I'm playing.
I'll tell you this, Brig. The second time I ever played golf in my life was probably as good or better than the last time I played golf in my life, and they were about 25 years apart. So This might be the best round you ever played, Brig.
I was just going to go in with the highest of hopes and lowest of expectations. It'll work out.
There you go. That's all it takes.
I'm gonna be having a good time. I've already decided. Doesn't matter what happens.
You will. You know what? A lot of times it takes one good ball and you're like, it's a good day. It's a good day.
Yeah, I believe you.
One good golf shot. So
I believe you. Well, baseball family, thanks for joining us today on your Tuesday episode of the Baseball Together podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe anywhere you're able. Hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, whatever button you have available. Go ahead and smash that thing. Turn on notifications so that you never miss anything that we're doing here. If you like what we're doing, invite your friends. There's a number of ways to do that, and we are available on every social media platform that we care about, and that's where you should be too. All right, let's go to the news. The first thing is, I thought this month's Players of the Month list was fantastic, and so I just want to highlight four names that, I mean, we could do this every month, but I feel like July was particularly impressive. So here's what I want to talk about. First, let's talk about pitching. Nate Eovaldi and Paul Skeens. The remarkable similarities is part of one of my favorite parts of the story. But first, Nate Eovaldi pitched through July a .59 ERA. He allowed 2 earned runs. 2, Brad. 2 earned runs ever in the month of July. Yep. He did that across 30 and 2/3 innings pitched. He gave up 21 hits is all. He logged 30 strikeouts, and there were 8 walks. He did that and picked up 5 wins in the process. You can't beat
Rangers
that
were hot
for a starter.
The Rangers were hot in August. Or July.
Yep,
Sorry, July. They were hot. We're just starting August.
we just came to August. Yeah. It's just,
you're right.
It was astonishing.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. That's so good.
Yeah,
and
it's so good.
If he wasn't a division rival, I would be like absolutely ecstatic for the guy. But since he's a division rival, I'm like, made things a little more interesting than I wanted him to be coming into August. But we can talk about that another day.
Yeah, we will. All right, let's move on to Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens posted a .67 ERA in the month of July. He also allowed only 2 earned runs. He did that across 27 innings pitched. Also impressive. Check out those similarities. 2 earned runs for both guys. 21 hits against Paul Skeens, just like against Nate Eovaldi, only gave up 21 hits. 36 strikeouts, though. Paul Skeens edged him out in 36 strikeouts, and he did so in fewer innings, which means fewer batters faced. And he only gave up 3 walks compared to Eovaldi's 8 walks. Now, because it's Paul Skeens and because it's the Pirates, he posted a 2-3 win-loss record across his starts.
Well, the team did. He didn't have decisions on all those, but yeah,
that's true.
Absurd and it's only going to get worse.
Good. How you could be that good, and your team's like, nah.
We're just not going to give you any run support. That's so. I saw this meme. You know the We're the Millers meme where they're like, I'm only getting
No
paid this much.
regrets.
Well, I'm only getting paid this much. You're getting paid this much. And then the last one is, you guys are getting paid to do this?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
well, what it's like the one that I saw was the Mariners pitchers, and they were like, "Oh man, I only got three runs of support. Like I got 2 runs of support," and then it's Logan Gilbert. You guys are getting run support, and it's the same thing with Paul Skeens. Like, you guys are getting run
Yeah.
support.
Yeah.
No, the Pirates are losing 1-0, and his
When
starts or
Skeen
the
starts,
bullpen's blowing it. Yes,
yeah, that's exactly right.
and I
That's
do wonder
exactly right.
sometimes,
So,
because this is an actual thing though. I wonder if he's striking too many guys out. I took a baseball theory class in college, and our professor, he was a minor league first baseman at one point, and he's like they say that strikeout pitchers have a hard time getting run support. And he's like, as somebody who has played with both strikeout pitchers and ground ball pitchers, he's like, yes, he's like, you fall asleep in the field when you
mm,
have a guy out there striking out 10 to 15 guys. He's like, so then you're trying to get the energy up in the dugout. And he's like, you don't want to get the energy up in the dugout. That's the hardest place because everybody just wants to sit.
yeah,
He's like, so ground ball pitchers, fly ball pitchers, guys who put the ball in play, they get way more run support because everybody's awake, everybody's active and ready to go. And so I'm not saying Skeens needs to like not be so dominant, but maybe be a little more democratic and throw some ground balls. I don't know.
yeah. Try telling him that.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure he'd love
He
that.
doesn't care.
Like,
He doesn't care.
no. I will continue
He's
to be
like,
fascist, as
he's like,
Crash
you're gonna
Davis
help.
says.
You want me to help the team? Tell them to help me first.
Yeah, probably. You're right.
All
Maybe
right,
tell the
let's move
front
on to
office
the
to help me
offensive
first.
side of the ball. What's that?
Oh, maybe tell the front office to help me first.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's run on the offensive side of the ball. Nick Kurtz, who is sensational. He had an absolutely amazing July. In July, he had 86 at bats, and across that time, he was batting 395, 480, 953. He posted a 1433 OPS. Ouch. He did that. He clocked 13 doubles, 1 triple, 11 homers, and 27 ribbies, 2 stolen bases, didn't get caught. He's only struck out 30 times. He grounded into a double play 1 time the whole month. 1. In 86 at bats, he grounded into a double play 1 time. That to me is as impressive as anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So his best performance of the month was July 25th. We talked about this already, but we're going to recap it. He went 6 for 6. He accounted for 8 ribbies, 4 homers in 1 game. That tied the all-time single game record with 19 total bases as well. That's a detail I didn't know when we talked about it before. That
Oh, we
19 total
mentioned it.
bases in a
It
single
was
game.
there. It was
We
in
did?
there. Yeah,
Oh, well, I
yeah,
must have
yeah.
blown
And
over
that
it.
maybe, I don't know, or zoned out. I don't know. But the thing you have to understand with this
Nah.
too is that he had a double as well in that, because 4 home runs, that's 16 total bases, plus a double and a single, that's 19. That's an awesome
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah. And going 6 for 6?
Like,
Who goes 6 for 6? Come
and
on.
a good nickname to go with it. A cool nickname, Big Amish, to go with it.
Yep.
I like
He's
it.
earned a cool
Good
nickname. He
for him.
deserves one. All right.
Yep.
Kyle Stowers also had an incredible July. He plays for the Marlins. 77 at bats. He's batting 364, 451, 818 with a 1.269 OPS through July. He hit 5 doubles, 10 homers, and 20 ribbies. 2 stolen bases, also was never caught stealing. He only struck out 22 times. He grounded into a double play 1 time, Brad. Also 1 time. He was intentionally walked twice, and on July 13th, he went 5 for 5 against the Orioles. Whew.
He's a sneaky player coming into the season. I don't know how many of us had him on our radar but he's had some big moments this year. I watched him walk off somebody this year with a big home run, and there were people calling for him to be in the home run derby too, like in our chat,
Yeah.
saying that he should have been there.
Yeah.
And it's up to the players somewhat. I think they have to get invited or throw their name in the ring or whatever. But look out for this guy, though. I mean, the Marlins. The thing that's sneaky about the Marlins is that over the years they've had some really good players come out of there, right? Like, don't forget, obviously Jazz Chisholm, they traded for him, but JT Realmuto was there, Christian Yelich was there, Giancarlo Stanton was there, right? Like, they're one of those teams that's like a pipeline into the rest of the big leagues. And Stowers could be another one of those guys who goes somewhere else and is an MVP contender or has an outstanding year for somebody, or maybe he has a hot start to one of these seasons over the next couple of years and is a hot trade piece at the deadline. So look out for him because he's coming.
Or do they keep him and finally start building
No,
around the guys that they have?
no, they won't.
You don't think so? You don't think that this
If
group
Jeter was
sees what they
still there,
have
they
this
would.
time?
If Jeter was still there, they would. They're not going to do that. That they're one of those teams that does that. That constantly they draft, develop, and trade. That's what they do. There are certain teams that do that. The Pirates do that. The A's do that. The Marlins do that. The Rockies would do that if anybody was willing to trade with them. But this year they don't have anybody to trade. They didn't really have anybody to trade besides
They
Ryan
traded
McMahon.
them all.
So
they traded them all to
the
freaking
Yankees.
New York.
You're right.
All two of them or whatever.
Yeah, and they're really the only two guys aside from their shortstop, who I'm drawing a blank on right now. I'm going to look him up. They have a shortstop or an infielder who's really good. Yeah, how's Ryan McMahon going so far for you, Brick?
I don't want to talk about it. Stop. We're not going to. We actually are going to talk about the Yankees.
Has been like the big bright spot for the Rockies, and he's still there.
So let's talk about these. Let's talk about the Yankees and the Marlins, because the Marlins swept the Yankees for the first time in franchise history, and that happened the last couple of days. That was this weekend that it happened. Kyle Stowers, speaking of, hit a 3-run bomb in the 4th inning on Saturday or Sunday's game. And it was already 3-1 Marlins when that went down. The game 1 was a 13-12 bloodbath.
Well, the thing that's wild about that is the comeback. I remember looking at the score being like, oh yeah, that's pretty typical. I'd expect the Yankees to be up, 6 runs?
Yeah.
Wasn't it like 12-6 at one point?
They had the lead 3 separate times. And the lead was
they had a massive lead at one point. Yeah.
Yeah, but they blew 3 separate leads that were comfortable margins that you would expect them to have held on to. They couldn't do it, and then they lose the game 12-13? Nah. I'm so mad.
Well, and the thing that's crazy is it was all like, I don't want to say the reason they lost, but the players they traded for had a significant role in the loss. There was a Jose Caballero error in right field, and then relievers, Duvall, Bednar, and who was the other?
Yeah.
There was somebody else who was involved with giving up a bunch of runs. Yeah. It's like, I know it's one game, it's a massive sample size, right? But it's like that quick after the deadline, it's like, what's happening here? What's going on? You need
your trade guys, the trade acquisitions. They have to come in and prove themselves. And I feel like you have two games to be like, I've arrived. 3, I'll give you 3 if you need it, right? Mm-hmm. If there's a weird situation where you're getting blown out, your starter blew it, and it's an everyday starter, like that's fine. Like if Rodon, for instance, had come in and just didn't do what he was supposed to do, shockingly, maybe. I don't know. Does that ever happen? How about Luis Heel coming in and pitching like 3 1/3, right? Come on. So if that happens and you get hung out to dry as one of these new relievers, okay, I'll give you that. We don't know how the bullpen will be managed. I'm just talking about relievers. So if you're a relief pitcher, you have 2 or 3 games depending on how much utilization they ask you to put forward, right? Or how much they use you. I don't know why I made that more complicated. Depending on how much they want to use you in those 3 games, I need you to show up and earn your paycheck. These guys didn't, and it was 3 games that they lost, and they lost on bad pitching and boneheaded mistakes. Jazz Chisholm got doubled up on a infield fly at first base. Like,
And
what is that
I was
about,
looking at
dude?
that, like that was tough. I feel like I was like, I know you don't want to get doubled up in that situation, but also like, I don't know. It it it's it's hard because you're like, okay, are they gonna call? Did they call an infield fly on that?
No.
I didn't think so. And so it's hard because he's trying to get to a spot where if the infielder lets that ball drop, then they're not eliminating his speed off the base paths, right? That he's going to try to get,
Right.
he's trying to get him find a sweet spot where he can get to second, but also get back if he needs to. And I think he was just a little bit farther off the bag than what he should have been. And I saw, man, Boone dress down the first base coach in the dugout. And I wonder if
Oh,
he was
yeah.
saying, like, talk to him more, tell him back a step, like communicate with him more, because I wonder if that's what it was. Is Jazz is just a step farther off the bag than he should have been, and I don't feel like it was that big of a deal because that's a tough spot for a base runner, right?
I'm not saying it's hard. I'm saying that we have a whole season worth of boneheaded mental
But
mistakes, and this,
what I'm saying
on
is
balance,
that's the least of them. That's the least of them.
that's fine. But if you are backsliding this hard and it's one of many, then they all color dark. Every one of them gets shaded in the negative. You can't excuse it as easily because this is a freaking track record.
It is a track. You're right. It is a track record. You're right.
That's the
But that one,
problem.
I'm like, I'm willing to let that one slide because that's the least of all of them because it's a tough spot for the base runner, especially somebody like Jazz. Like I said, he's trying not to have his speed erased off the base pass because it would be just as easy for the second baseman to be like, I would rather have a slow guy at first and get rid of Jazz at second than catch this ball and leave
Yeah,
Jazz at first. Right?
right. Which is
So I'm sure that there was a
what,
balance that
yeah,
the Jazz was trying to find there. But then I think what
right.
they saw was he's just far enough off that I might be able to double him up. And so he made the
Yeah,
play.
yeah.
Because
And
I
it
think,
worked.
because the other thing
And
is, I bet you if Jazz had taken one step back toward the bag, that he lets that ball drop.
yeah, you're probably right.
So I think it was
Yeah, you're
mostly
probably
a
right.
smart play on the second baseman rather than a boneheaded play by Jazz. But the
There you
problem
go.
is that you do have this trend throughout the entire season of bad base running mistakes, and so that gets lumped in with them because it looks bad because it's against the
Yeah,
Marlins of all teams that are a 500 team
exactly.
that maybe shouldn't even be a 500 team.
Bro, they're barely a 500 team. So after the Yankees got swept by the Marlins are now the only team in Major League Baseball history with a winning record against the Yankees. The next closest team is the Dodgers, who are a 479 against, and this is all time. In the history of the
Right.
Yankees franchise, they beat everybody consistently, except now the Marlins. And this includes the postseason. The Marlins are now 25-24 against the Bronx Bombers. That is disgusting. I feel like I have a disorder that I now need to seek medical professional attention for. I don't understand how I'm allowed to be hurting this much. So it's hyperbole, but I love it. Okay, the Marlins are now, after they beat the Yankees in 3 games, now they're at 500, Brad. Now they're 55-55 going into tonight's game, which will have been last night as we publish this on Tuesday morning. But Monday night's game against the Houston Astros at Lone Depot Park, we'll see what happens, because if they carry this momentum and this high against Houston, Seattle wins. That's the only equation that matters. And here's the thing.
You're right.
Miami was 16 games under 500. The last time they have been at 500 was April 15th. They were 8-8 on April 15th. This is the first time since 2014 that a team has made up 16 game deficit within the season. At any point in the season, to get back to 500.
That's crazy.
It's only happened 5 times in the wild card era, and the Marlins now have done it twice. They did it in like 2000,
and get
2006.
Get ready, Marlins fans, because this 3-game set against Houston at home could be a whole lot easier than what it looks on paper, because in their last 12 games, Houston is 2-10.
Yep.
Not good right now. They lost
No.
they got swept by the Red Sox, got 1 out of 3 from the Nats, but they got swept in 4 games against the A's.
Yeah. So I said
Houston's in a bad way right now.
Seattle will be the big banger benefit if the Marlins just keep running all over people. And so let's transition over to Seattle a little bit. Julio is Julio! He's now has 4 consecutive 2020 seasons, Brad. And not just 4 consecutive, but this is his 4th season. So first 4 seasons, all of them 2020 now. How you like that?
Mm-hmm. I love it, and I love it even more that he's the first player ever to have 2020 seasons in his first 4 seasons.
Yep.
Ever.
First
Greg.
ever.
Out of everybody who's played Major League Baseball, all the burners, all the sluggers, everybody who you would think would have a floor of 2020, none of them did. Julio's floor is well established now at 2020, which is awesome.
It's awesome.
I love it.
So I did a little math.
Especially for a guy who has had a down year last year and started with a down year this year. But he's had, I think he's at 9 of those homers in the last 2.5 weeks.
Probably. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I did a little math. And I know that's dangerous territory for me to be on. But listen, okay. I did a little math. The first season he was in the league, he hit 28 homers, 25 stolen bases. The second season, he went 32-37. The third season, last year, 20 and 24. He's right now at 20 and 21 so far. Still season left, okay? But he's on pace to achieve what he did at his first season, right? I think 28-25 is a reasonable assumption for how it might play out the rest of this season, right? Could be more.
Could be, yeah.
Probably not going to be less. Okay?
Right.
So not only does this is cool, but he also now has 100 career homers, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You ready for the math time? I need you to tell me,
ready,
Brad, how many seasons are we counting on Julio being in the league?
Well, a lot, first off.
Yeah.
Let me look at his contract real quick, because he signed a super long-term deal his rookie season.
Yeah.
Like, he's not supposed to hit free agency until 2030.
Yeah.
Plus, he has player options to get him through 2034.
Okay.
Which would put him at... That would make him 34 years old.
Whoa. Okay.
So we have at least another, 9 years of Julio, most likely, unless there's a catastrophic injury. I mean, at this point, we still should have had Kyle Lewis in Seattle. Which, could you imagine how good this team would be with Kyle Lewis at the plate? Dude.
That'd be crazy.
It would be crazy.
Okay, so is that 9 on top of this season? Or is that the first 4 plus 9?
That'd be 9 more after this one.
Okay. So we're talking 13. Let's just say 13. Okay?
Okay. All right.
13 seasons. Let me do this. That puts him on pace if he averages 29 homers per season. And I only took the first 3 seasons of his career because we don't have the final on this one yet.
Right.
But in the first 3 seasons, he's averaging 29 homers per season. Let's give him 13 total. Okay? That puts him on pace for 377 career home runs. If we do the same thing with stolen bases, it's not a bad number. It's a little less than I would have thought. But if we do the same treatment That puts him on pace for 416 stolen bases. Now, honestly, he's going to go on a tear, and he's going to have up years and down years. But I don't think 2020 is the actual. I don't think that's his mid-range average. That's his floor, as you said. I think
Right, yeah.
his middle ground, his consistent performance will start to elevate closer to 30-30, I think.
I would think so. Well, because last year it's wild. He only had 24 bags. He should have had at least 35 because he got caught stealing so much because he goes into the bag so fast that
Yeah.
so the coaching staff told him, we don't want you going head first because we don't want you to get injured. Dude, there had to have been at least 10, 11 times where he got called out because he went into the bag so hard that he popped off. Originally called safe, they challenged, and then he was out.
Because he overslid. Yeah.
Like, that's so stupid. and not what replay is for. Right?
Yeah.
And
Wow.
and of course, I love it when it goes in my favor. I hate it when it goes against me, right? Like, yeah, nitpick, but then it's like, no, don't nitpick. This is dumb. But he could have had at least 10 or 11 more bags last year. And so we're on the low end of stolen bases, too.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
I agree.
The fact that he had 24 stolen bases last year, potentially, like I said, 35, when he was not getting on base, like, at all.
He is now.
He is now, yeah, for sure. And part of that is
he really is
his speed. He's using his speed more since, like, May, I think, out of the box.
Yeah.
Because for a while,
I just thought it would be fun to celebrate him for this accomplishment, but also to see what his projected future might look like.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, there's a reason that the Mariners signed him to a long-term deal because he's a freak athlete. He's got tons of natural ability, and I don't know that we've seen anywhere near his ceiling yet. When he figures it all out, like we've seen flashes of it. Call it nuclear Julio. That nobody can get him out. Nobody get the ball by him. We just need to see it all come together. It'll be crazy when we do.
All right, last thing. The Speedway Classic took place this weekend, and wouldn't you know it, it got rained out. I just love it. I think it's so funny that
I'm glad I'm not the only one that thought that was hilarious. Because Brig, every time I went to turn that game on Saturday, it was in a rain delay.
Yeah.
And I know they only played like an inning, but still, like, I was like, is it back? Nope. And I didn't even get to see that one inning. So
I didn't either. But then on Sunday, they picked it up, and apparently they ran out of food on Saturday and part of Sunday, and so they let people bring in their own food. That's what I heard on social media. I don't know how true it is, but the idea of it is hilarious.
Some teams are doing that now anyway. Because I saw this on TikTok. There's somebody who brought in a pizza to a Diamondbacks game. His own
kidding
box of pizza from a local pizzeria. Yeah. And if you go to Diamondbacks games, don't say, hey, I saw this on Baseball Together. Go check it out for yourself.
No.
Call the stadium for their policies. But apparently that's a thing. I mean, I do know for sure, Brig, that to every game we bring water bottles, and we also bring sunflower seeds. I had a friend bring some Ziploc bags full of snacks, which I feel like is reasonable, but a boxed pizza, that's a lot.
It's a little outlandish. I think.
I don't know. Call your local stadium and see what their food policy is. That might be like a sneaky thing that they're allowing now that they just don't advertise because they want the concession revenue. But
the revenue, yeah, that's good.
I don't know.
Anyway, a couple of takeaways for me. I think the biggest thing for me was that the home run flag celebration run with the car. I thought that was pretty cool. And then
I thought they lost their skier at first.
Yeah. The only other thing that I thought was super cool outside of the game was fine, and there were some really great moments. But for me, the way they handled the camera angles, I thought was above and beyond. Like when was it White that hit those homers? I think so.
Yeah.
Brain fart. But when he hit one of those homers, it was almost like the camera was right there. Like it was like couldn't have been more than 10 feet away from the ball. And I thought, okay, that's cool. Kind of like when they do a punt camera or a kickoff camera in the NFL, and you're just like right there with the ball. That's how it felt, and it was really cool. They got to do more with that.
I agree. I would like to see more of that, like the spider cam. And I know it's harder in baseball because the ball is flying the way that it is, right? It's more predictable in the NFL and in football in general with the way that the ball's thrown and kicked and everything. But I think it would be really cool if they could wire up a spider cam in MLB stadiums and do it like that, because that was really cool. Or have some kind of drone or something. I thought the acoustics in the stadium were way better than I anticipated. Listening to those, I didn't get to watch the game. Like I said, every time I turned it on, I was in a rain delay. I didn't get to watch it on Sunday. But watching the replays, the acoustics were way better than I thought they were going to be. You heard the ball off White's bat, and it was like, dude, that sounds awesome. It sounded and looked, based on the stands that they had set up around the infield, it felt a lot like a spring training game, and the acoustics were very similar because it's very wide open, and then I'm sure it was echoing off the backstop in the stands right there, So you got it ring out a little bit more rather than kind of echoing. But also I thought it was I felt like a little bit of karma that they got rained out trying to put a baseball game in such an odd venue for such a crappy reason.
Yep.
Right, like the baseball gods definitely frowned upon this event. It felt like today.
That's how I feel about it. That's exactly how I feel about it. And I know we're poo-pooing it because we're old school in certain ways, but Brad, you're not old school, so to hear you poo-poo this is so good for me.
I just think it's dumb to do it just for the sake of an attendance record, which, by the way, I don't think you said it. It was 91,032 people is what they said. But I was cracking up. Like, they're like, we'll continue the game on Sunday. I'm like, nobody's going to be there. These people are flying out Sunday morning. The people who flew in for this thing, they're leaving Sunday morning. Or maybe even we're leaving Saturday night late. It's like, these people aren't going to come back.
I agree.
So
I also think that's part of why they probably let them bring in their own food. They're like calling all locals, calling all locals. Can you imagine them going around on the radio and with all the TV, and then you get like a Google cart?
Well, you got the gate already. You got the gate. Now you just need butts and seats for the camera.
Yep, that's right.
So yeah,
that sounds right.
Sure.
That feels right. Anyway,
that does.
All
feel
right,
right.
Last thing before we get out of here. Today in baseball history, August 5th, 2007, Mets pitcher Tom Glavine becomes the 23rd pitcher and 5th lefty in Major League Baseball history to win 300 games. Glavine would pitch 6 1/3 innings, help his own cause at the plate with a single, a walk, and an RBI in an 8-3 win over the Cubs. I love me some Tom Glavine.
Love it.
All right, baseball family, thanks for joining us. Go ahead and like, subscribe, rate, and review. Jump in the comments. Tell us what you think. Do you agree with the Speedway Classic stuff? Did you hate it? Did you love it? Did you go out and buy a hat with flames on it? Because I know you did. I know you did, Corey. I can see in your eyes. So go ahead and jump in there and let us know how you feel about that new hat you have. And baseball family, don't forget, we are live Thursdays on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch every Thursday night during the season. That's 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then we drop an episode every Sunday. This Sunday, we will be talking about playoff potential, which teams are contending, which teams are faking the funk. And with that, baseball family, we'll catch you Thursday.